Welcome back, this is Ron, and we're going to start off by having a look at mission modes. Back in that document we had up earlier, which I'll bring up now. There it is, mission modes. Mission modes are the types of emissions that radio amateurs use, and you would be familiar with terms like AM, amplitude modulation, single sideband, FM, and pulse modulation. You may not be familiar with that one, but AM, SSB, and FM you would be familiar with. Morse code, the code for Morse code is A1A. Speech, I don't know why they put speech in there, because it's really telephony or speech telephony. In other words, voice. If you're transmitting on voice and you're transmitting on single sideband, the code for that will be J3E. Let me see if I can get a pen here, if it works. Yep, speech is J3E. Speech or voice on FM is F3E. Now what these codes are not telling you, these emission codes are not telling you are the bandwidth of the signal, because these signals can be all different bandwidths. FM on VHF on amateur bands can be no more than 16 kilohertz. So the full code for FM would be 16 K 0, and that's 16 K0 means 16 kilohertz. And then would be the emission designator F3E. So the full code would include the bandwidth of the signal there. Now, you don't have to remember a lot of these anymore, but you do have to remember that there are certain bandwidths you can only use on certain frequencies. For example, on VHF, on FM, we can use VHF and above, we can use 16 kilohertz on FM, but below 28 megahertz, we're only allowed to use 8 kilohertz FM. So there's a few little ones like that you need to know about, which we'll cover later. But once upon a time, and not so long ago, Foundation, Standard, and Advanced were all restricted to certain modes. Advanced could use them all, Standard could use some of them, and Foundation could only use SSB, AM, and I think Morse code. Today, any class of radio amateur can use any mode of transmission, provided they take notice of the maximum occupied bandwidth. There's a little bit more information below that graph on what these symbols mean here. AM, amplitude modulated, SSB, so on, FM, and phase modulation. But good news is today, all radio amateurs can use just about all modes. The only thing you need to be careful about is what the maximum bandwidth you can use on a particular band and your power level. I'll catch you back in part 3. Cheers for now.